What's up, guys? It's me, Alan, and I'm back with another video today. We have another NASCAR Diecast for you to do today, and this one came from eBay. You know, we had the Darlington race last weekend, so this one's this review's a little late, but I just got this in the mail today, which is actually kind of funny, and I'll get to that in a minute. But this is a throwback diecast from 2016 to a guy that I share my first name with, and I wish I got to see race, if not for his tragic death back in the 90s. So you probably all want, and this guy who, you know, now runs, you know, does some select races at times in the Xfinity series, and also really, for the most part, does commentary, or does pit road commentary for NASCAR on NBC. Regan Smith and his 2016 Nikko remote control Darlington Throwback Chevy for Tommy Baldwin Racing. Ha! Another, you know, Tommy Baldwin Racing. How about that? We got a diecast from them in 2016. And, you know, and speaking of small teams getting diecast, of course, you know, with Mike Harmon Racing getting that, as well as Front Row with John Hunter Nemechek and things like that. But, yeah, so what's funny about this is the person that was selling this on eBay, you know, they did an auction. They did it as an auction. They listed at $7.77. Kind of funny, I guess, but, you know, it is what it is. And nobody had bidded on it when I saw it. And so I saw it, and I'm like, huh. So, put in for it, and sure enough, nobody bid on it, and I won. How about that? First time winning auction on eBay. And I really don't, I'm not really doing eBay auctions for that much because, you know, there's no point in that. Like, somebody posted a Brandon Jones 2020 custom Xfinity Series diecast, and it was like the bidding was starting really low. It was like 4 something. I put in for it, and somebody, you know, did better than mine by like 50 cents. And we went back and forth a little bit until I pulled out, and it was like $14, $15 or something like that by that point. I'm like, screw this. So, yeah. But like I said, again, glad to have this in my collection. This is one that I've had on my, I mentioned in one of my wish list videos, which I will be making a part 4 to that pretty soon. And I'm going to talk about a few things in that. But anyway, let's go ahead and let's get this diecast out of its box and get on with the review. And I do have more reviews coming. I'm just waiting on packages to show up because I have 5 diecasts coming from Lionel. I have 4 more 2020 diecasts coming from eBay, and I got another. And then I got a 2008 COT diecast coming from eBay as well, and then 2 more coming from Plan B Sales. One of which I actually already reviewed, but that one that I originally reviewed, that particular diecast is going to a friend of mine, so which I mentioned in that video. But anyway. Here's the diecast out of its box, and if you can't tell already, this is a throwback to Alan Kulwicki. You don't know who he was, or who he was, because he, as I mentioned in the intro, he unfortunately passed away in the 90s. The year after, actually, it was the year after he won his championship in the Cup Series. And what happened was, he was an owner-driver back then, and that whole season, it's one of the most infamous seasons ever because you had Kulwicki, Davey Allison, and Bill Elliott were all competing for really were the ones competing for the championship at the end. But then you had Kyle Petty, Harry Gant, and somebody else. There were like long shots to win, and they needed the guys ahead of them to have issues or whatever, and that just didn't play out. But that championship race at Atlanta that year, when, you know, and whatnot, that was a wild race because not only did you have these 6 guys competing for the championship, this was Jeff Gordon's first start, Richard Petty's last start. You had Dale Jr. was on, you know, you had a guy like Dale Jr. on the track. I mean, to have Alan Kulwicki, Jeff Gordon, Richard Petty, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Davey Allison, you know, Bill, all of these legends, you know, whatnot, all sharing the track at the same time. It's pretty special. I'm going to link a video from Slap Shoes that he did about this. It was more a bit of an in-depth video about that whole deal. So go check that out. and go subscribe to him. And please subscribe and drop a like on this video as well for me. I would gladly appreciate that. But yeah, so let's go ahead, take a look at the diecast. So yeah, like I said, this is one of those diecasts that I've had on my wish list. Alright, windshield's not... Alright, yeah, windshield's in... Yeah, okay, what the heck? It looks like the windshield on this side is sagging a little bit, and it's popped out a little bit on this side, but it's not loose. Alright, Lino. Okay, whatever. But yeah, I like the orange. I really like this. The Kulwicki throwback. With Regan Smith. Yeah, it's pretty awesome to say the least. What the? Okay. All right. Since they did it to both of these decals, I'm sure this is on purpose. But apparently, so you got the State of Imagination, which by the way looks crooked, and then Nikko. I'm pretty sure both of these are they're facing forward, which is weird because normally they'd be facing the other way with being decals and such. But hey, it is what it is. But yeah, so like I said, again, really happy to have this in my collection. This is something I've wanted to have, and I was able to get it. And it's not every day you get a diecast from freaking Tommy Baldwin Racing or Mike Harmon Racing, who again, like Joe Nemechek. Before this year, we hadn't seen a diecast from him since the early 2000s, and now we got a diecast from him from Mike Harmon Racing, and they've got like 2 other diecasts that are up for pre-order. And if both of them meet the requirement for pre-order, they could both get made. So we could have 3 Mike Harmon Racing diecasts released this year, which is pretty freaking awesome. And like Mike Wallace, I don't know, the render got released for the Xfinity Series diecast of his that it was up for pre-order as well. Usually if the render gets released, the diecast is probably going to get made. So we could be seeing that. Apparently, something happened. Jordan Anderson's getting a diecast made. Now, his race win truck from Daytona when he got beat out by Grant Enfinger there at the end. Apparently, something happened. It was taken down off of the Lionel's website, but got put back up. And the explanation is that they made a certain number of diecasts up to quantity. So what's going to happen is that's all going to be fulfilled, and then the rest are going to end up in Authentics. So we're going to see a Jordan Anderson truck in a future NASCAR Authentics wave. That is freaking awesome. And on top of that, there are some other diecasts. Like Jesse Little has a couple of diecasts that are up for pre-order. Colby Howard has one, if I remember correctly. Surprised that actually is still up there, but either way. Brett Moffitt has a couple up on Plan B Sales' website. You're not going to be able to find those on Lionel. You're going to have to go to Plan B. Plan B Sales. Assuming that they weren't canceled already, because I think Plan B Sales just doesn't update pre-order availability as much as Lionel does. But either way, yeah, so like I said, and this is a thing, and this will be a thing for a future video. If you've been watching Diecast Buffet's recent diecast reviews, he's mentioned himself how he wants to see Lionel make more diecasts, and such. And Smoke Carbon 13 in his in one of his recent videos he mentioned this too, that back in the 90s, I forget who was making them, but there was a particular line where even if you ran one race that season, you got a diecast made of your car. And you can find a lot of this on eBay and such. It's insane. I'll link Smoke's video in the description, and if you go to Diecast Buffet's channel, which I'll also link in the description, and you check out his recent diecast reviews, you'll see what I'm referring to, or what he mentions that I'm referring to. But yeah, so like I said, I would love to see more smaller teams get diecast. I mean, it's awesome to see guys like Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Jimmy Johnson, etc., 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 getting these diecasts. I mean, hell, this year alone, we're getting 3 different versions of the same Dale Earnhardt Jr. Xfinity Series diecast, the one that he ran at Homestead. You know, we had the one before the Xfinity banners came out on the car, the one with the Xfinity banners on the windshield, and now we get a third one that's going to be an Authentics. You know, in Wave 4. And that's awesome, but that's also kind of redundant. You know, and that's another thing with Lionel is that they end up putting in a lot of the diecasts that already got released in the Gold Series. Like this, the Kyle Busch Skittle Dips car, that's in Wave 4. That had literally just been released in the Gold Series when the Wave 4 announcement was put out. So, yeah, I'm going to link all this stuff in the description, and my point to all this is, and I'm gonna talk about this more in future videos, you know, but I want to see Lionel make more of these diecasts, and there's just certain things that I feel like need to change. The pre-order system is one of them. I feel like that a smaller team like, you know, Tommy Baldwin Racing, for example, if they had a diecast that was up for pre-order right now, why should they have to meet the same quantity standards as the big guys, the Kyle Busches and the Chase Elliott diecasts of the world? It's just not fair, because how can you expect these smaller teams and smaller names to reach the same quantity, you know, regardless of how much support, you know, or how many pre-orders come through? How can you expect them to reach the same levels as these big guys like Busch and Elliott that are 9 times out of 10 going to get these diecast, you know, quantities for pre-order met? You know, I mean, when they came out with recent diecast that got DNP'd, it was the All-Star diecasts, and Chase Elliott was on that list, and people were like, oh wow, Chase Elliott got a diecast DNP'd. Relax, people. It's the All-Star car, for fuck's sake. Come on now. You know, wait until we see like a regular version of his car get DNP'd. But again, that's all for another video. But it's relevant to this, because again, Tommy Baldwin Racing, this is a Darlington Throwback, and this is a Darlington Throwback in the Gold Series, which is what surprised me, because a lot of these diecast, or a lot of these Darlington Throwbacks, most of them end up getting DNP'd, and then you get some that get saved by NASCAR Authentics. I don't know how many of these are going to get saved by Authentics this year because of what's all been going on. I mean, again, we're in September. We're only on Wave 4. And who the hell knows when Wave 5 is going to come out or be announced. So, yeah, that's just how I feel. And again, I will talk about this in future videos. I plan on it, hopefully. And yeah, so, again, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like, subscribe, and you know what? Let me know down in the comments which Darlington Throwback from this year that you really wish got offered. For me, it's Chad Fincham's throwback to Jerry Nato. No, I do not know if I'm related to him or not. I wish I knew. As you can see in the box here. But yeah, let me know in the comments what DNP diecast, whether it's a Darlington Throwback or just a regular car, whatever, do you wish got saved by Authentics, or hope to see get saved by Authentics, or you just wish got made? I know a lot of people in the Alex Bowman's fan base would say his Nikko Patriotic car, because that thing was a freaking beaut. But anyway, again, like I said, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like and subscribe. It'll really help out the channel, and I'll see you on the next video.